This is a sitting practice, and it'll last for about 30 minutes. So finding yourself a quiet and protected space where you'll be free from interruptions. And coming to a sitting posture. So whether that's perhaps on a straight back chair or on a meditation stool or cushion, inviting you to adopt a posture which embodies your intention for this practice. So an intention to be present, awake and alert. So sitting in an upright posture, and if you're on a chair, perhaps experimenting with having your back away from the back of the chair so the spine is self-supporting. But also trusting the wisdom of your own body. So settling into a posture that is right for you, and having full permission if you need to shift during the practice, because you're putting a strain on a particular part of your body, then really trusting your own wisdom and taking the necessary steps for that. So getting a sense now of arriving in this sitting position, tuning into the points of contact with the floor and with the surface beneath you. Really sensing into this body being present, right here and now. In this place. And feeling your weight dropping down, letting gravity do its work. So inviting a sense perhaps of a firm base, being still and settled in your sitting. And at the same time as your weight is dropping down, also a sense of the height of you going up, so sitting tall, not stiff, but upright and alert. Nice long back, and perhaps in your mind's eye just getting a sense of the spine, the vertebrae, reaching up from the sacrum, each vertebrae stacked one on top of the other, curving in gently at the lower back, and out between the shoulder blades, up to a long back of the neck, reaching all the way up to the head balanced on top with crown uppermost, chin tucked slightly in. You might like to imagine an invisible thread attached to the crown of your head, just tugging gently upwards, supporting and encouraging you in sitting tall. Bringing attention also to the shoulders, favourite place for holding on to tension, so really inviting soft shoulders and soft arms, with hands resting gently in your lap perhaps, or on your legs. And perhaps there's a sense of strength in the back, a nice strong back as you sit tall. And maybe contrasting this with a softness to the front of the body, an openness to your experience and to whatever unfolds during this practice. So firm, strong back, soft, open front. And bringing attitudes of kindly curiosity to your experience during this practice. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. But simply sitting here, open to your own experience, with warmth, with acceptance. No need to change anything. Just warmly accepting whatever unfolds for you during this next little while. So bringing attention now to the fact that you're breathing. No need to change anything, just noticing. The breath's already here, in breath and out breath, gently coming and going. Perhaps being curious about where you first noticed the in-breath. Perhaps a faint sensation of air brushing the upper lip, or a coolness at the tip of the nose. Cool air entering the nostrils, slightly warmer air leaving. And movements of air down the back of the throat. The rise and fall of the chest. Movements in the rib cage. And lower down still, perhaps, in the abdomen. Just coming up close alongside the moment-by-moment detail of all that's involved in breathing. Not so much thinking about breathing, but experiencing it from the inside, being in the breathing. This body, this breath. The beginning, middle, end of the in-breath. Beginning, middle, and end of the out-breath. Experiencing it all. Using the breath as an anchor for your attention in this moment. And if the mind should wander off, caught up by something, perhaps from the past or the future or some other distraction, just knowing that's what minds do. And seeing it as a moment of mindfulness when you notice that. Just making the choice with kindness simply to escort the attention back to this breath. So each in-breath is a new beginning, a new moment. And perhaps with each out-breath a sense of releasing, letting go. And watching for that point at which the in-breath turns around and becomes out-breath. Out-breath turns around to become in-breath. No need to change anything. It happens all by itself. Expanding awareness now around movements of breath coming and going, to a sense of the whole body sitting here. Becoming alert to physical sensations. Perhaps getting a sense of the whole body, a little like we do in the body scan. So just tuning into feet and lower legs, upper legs, pelvis and buttocks, and all the way up the torso at front and back. Down the arms to the hands, and up again across those shoulders to the neck, the head and the face. Inviting a real sense of an embodied physical presence, this body, these physical sensations. Bring our kindly curiosity to any sensations that are alive for you in this moment. As best you can, just accepting with warmth, this is how it is, this is how I am in this moment. Perhaps there's an awareness of clothes on skin, or of temperature. Or a general feeling tone to the body, or perhaps to different parts of the body. Maybe there's a discomfort somewhere. And perhaps if so, checking in whether it will be a kindness to yourself to shift your posture a little to ease any discomfort. And if so, doing so with conscious awareness. Or maybe there's a discomfort unrelated to posture. It's an ache or a pain. If so, you might like to experiment with just imagining breathing into that area. Inviting a sense of openness, spaciousness. Maybe easing, soothing. As best you can, being fully with this body in this moment, letting all else recede. And if your mind should wander off 100 times, simply inviting it back 100 times. This is just what minds do. Coming back to this body, to this moment. Building the ability to place your awareness where you choose, waking up to this moment, over and over. Letting awareness of physical sensations recede a little now. And bringing attention to the act of hearing. Just letting sound arrive at your own ears. You may become aware of sounds from inside your own body. Or within your immediate environment. Sounds from further afield. The sound of my voice. Sensing into the detail of sound, having sound as the anchor for your attention in these moments. Curiosity to the tone, pitch, volume of different sounds. Perhaps noticing the mind's tendency to label what's making the sound, to have a story about it. So maybe experimenting just with letting the raw sound arrive at your ears. Sitting within a soundscape. Sounds coming, sounds going. And where is your mind now? If it's wandered off, just noting where it's gone, and with kindness, just bringing the attention back to any sounds that you're aware of in your field of experience just now. Perhaps noticing any gaps between sounds, any moments of silence. Just being with it all, open to it all. Anchoring your attention on any sounds that are around for you. And now letting awareness of sounds recede, but rather inviting an awareness of thoughts to the foreground. Maybe noticing how suddenly thought seems elusive. Noticing that as a thought too. Just letting thoughts naturally arise in the mind, being as though a watcher of these mental events unfolding. So not getting caught up in the thinking, just noticing activity of the mind. A little like the breath, or physical sensations, or sound. Noticing how thoughts come and go. You might like to experiment with imagining that your mind is a great, vast, open blue sky. And each thought that comes along is like a weather cloud. So some may be white and fluffy, just scudding along across the vastness of the blue sky, this thought popping up, blowing along like a weather cloud, till it passes on by. And some weather clouds may be darker and more turbulent, perhaps troublesome thoughts. Noticing how these too eventually pass on by. And from your sitting in your perspective of the blue sky, just watching it all unfold. Thoughts coming and going. Maybe noticing how often there's a feeling tone and emotion attached to thinking. How these two pass on by. Sitting in the stillness of the blue sky, just watching it unfold. No need to get hooked in. And now letting awareness of thoughts recede. And this time bringing attention to whatever it is that's most prominent in your field of experience at the moment. Sometimes referred to as choiceless awareness. Just giving your attention fully to whatever it is that is presenting itself most strongly. It may be thinking or sounds or breath or something else. Whatever's most prominent for you, just dwelling with that as best you can, being as fully present and open to your moment by moment experience. And whenever the mind wanders, as it surely will, just knowing that that is a moment of mindfulness, just catching, noticing, and making the choice to come back to whatever is your focus for attention. And as we draw the practice towards a close, just coming back to the breath once more. Still here, just aware of the ebb and flow, in-breath and out-breath. And to the body sitting here, physical presence. Noticing once more your posture, and then broadening further still to a sense of your wider environment. This place, this time, sitting here. And perhaps congratulating yourself for taking the time to have engaged in this practice. Building your capacity to be present in more of your moments, and perhaps taking that forward into whatever unfolds in the rest of your day.